go with another project. We been messing around in this house and the furnace isn't working. So these are one of the many things that, like my daughter says, that the doodad does. I had reset it this morning, just took this door off, put it back on, and it worked. Most furnaces have a key on them for diagnosis. So you probably won't be able to see it. Oh, maybe you can see it. So there's two little lights in there, and one of them, the one is flashing slow and the other one is on. That's an error code. And if you look right here, this is the left light, this is the right light. Right here, slow flash and on. So that's what we have down there. It says primary, secondary limit switch open. And we'll look that up on Google and figure out what that is. So we'll look that up real quick. We'll let you know what we find. So we looked that up, and it just says it could happen over time with a dirty filter. I had changed the filter earlier this morning when it didn't work the first time. We're not sure where this limit switch is. But looking around here, there's a cup for this condensate. And I've had problems with this before. If it doesn't read the right pressure differential between the incoming stack and the outgoing stack, I know that can cause problems, so I'm gonna look at that. And I took the little cup off. You just squeeze this little clamp here, and there's a little cup at the bottom of these hoses, and it is completely full of water. So we're gonna dump that out, and I'm gonna take this hose off of here, which is also full of water, which shouldn't be, because that water being in there can cause a pressure differential between the stacks. Dump that cup out. There's a little crud in the bottom of there, but that won't hurt none. Just stick that back on. This little clamp is pretty easy to put on and off. And we got the water out of this tube right here. I'll put it back on. And then these tubes here between this fan and this fan sometimes will do the same thing. So I just take them off and make sure they're clear. I take them off both sides and blow through them. Make sure that they don't have anything in them. There's one at the gas valve. Make sure it's not plugged. It isn't.
Says the contacts could get dirty and that's enough to do it.
Contacts on this switch that we don't seem to be able to find. Okay. So that's this piece here. It says it's open circuit. So what I'm gonna do is pause this for a minute. I'll go get a 1/4-inch nut driver and take that off, see if I can see a problem with it. So I don't see anything that I can tell is wrong there. It says it gets corroded or whatever, so we'll put it back together. So we will, though, take the connections on and off, just in case those got a little corrosion on them. Put the door back on.
Oops.
And it did this morning too. It took off and ran here for a little bit. I'll show you the lights here. If you look now with it running, two fast flashing lights right here, simultaneous fast flash, normal operation, and signaled when heating is required. So we'll let that cycle a little bit and see if it straightens out. But right now the furnace is running. I'll give you an update here in an hour or so. Okay, we're back on the furnace here because it didn't run very long. It did heat. It did turn on and it did heat. The burners were blowing, but 2 slow flashing lights. Power on, normal operation. It says it's operating correctly. And it is operating correctly. So what happened there is this smart thermostat, it was after the time that my wife and I usually go to work. So it turned it down. I'm gonna be here working today. So I'm gonna turn this up a little. I know everybody's gonna say you like it awful hot in your house, but I'm gonna turn that up for a little bit, watch the furnace and make sure that it is working correctly. Here we go with an update on the furnace. Appears to be at temperature, just a little above temperature. So I would assume it's running right. Something I read when I looked that up said that the spade connectors on that piece get a little bit of corrosion on them and they don't contact real well, and sometimes that's what causes that. So I unplugged them, kind of scratched it up a little, plugged it back in. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's 2 of us helping me out there. He's giving me kisses while I'm down here trying to do this. So there's 2 green lights, flashing slow, power on, normal operation. One of those things that I did there apparently has it fixed up. You know, in that case, that was very simple. It was a simple deal, just a couple of checks, and it got the furnace working right, and it saved a service call and possibly some parts that weren't needed. It just needed looked at. It's very handy to have that diagnostic code there on the front. It kind of helps you chase it down, and hopefully this helps somebody out and saves them a little bit of money. Thanks for watching.